The best gangster movies of all time have been those that serve to audiences a mixture of memorable plots, unforgettable characters, and, of course, an indelible cinematic experience. In this video, we've compiled for you a list of the 21 best mob movies of all time, and we're presenting them in order of their IMDb rating. So hit the play button and enjoy. Internal Affairs, 6.5. Raymond Avila, played by Andy Garcia, is a young recruit in the Internal Affairs Department of the LAPD. Avila and his partner, Amy Wallace, played by Laurie Metcalf, become interested in the activities of Dennis Peck, played by Richard Gere, after they realize Dennis is involved in many criminal activities. Raymond eventually becomes obsessed with catching Dennis. Mean Streets, 7.3. Mean Streets, a Martin Scorsese classic, follows the life of Charlie, Tony, Michael, and Teresa in New York's Little Italy. Though Scorsese's characters have grown in a gangster environment, they're naive and don't know how to survive in the New York gangster world. Other than its memorable plot, the film is also remembered for its fight scenes, none of which look choreographed as was usual with most early mob movies. These scenes depict Scorsese's genius. Miller's Crossing, 7.7. Tom Reagan is the chief advisor to the mob boss, Leo, and is having a secret affair with Leo's girlfriend, Verna. When Leo clashes with another mob boss, Johnny Casper, over Verna's brother, Bernie Birnbaum, Tom finds himself in the middle of an issue he can't resolve. Tom gets thrown out of Leo's syndicate and is suddenly warring with several deadly parties. This American noir gangster film was produced and directed by the Coen brothers and was a box office failure. However, the film has become a cult classic over the years. Donnie Brasco, 7.7. Donnie Brasco is based on the real-life story of FBI agent Joe Pistone, who infiltrated the Bonanno crime family between 1976 and 81. In the film, Pistone, played by Johnny Depp, infiltrates the mafia army led by Sonny Black by befriending Lefty Ruggiero. Though Donnie collects enough evidence for the conviction of top mafia bosses, he also realizes that being an undercover agent is tough. The film reaches its high point when the friendship between Donnie and Lefty, played by Al Pacino, deepens. Are you enjoying this video on the best 21 mob movies of all time? If yes, stick around for our top 5. You'll enjoy them even more. Meanwhile, if you like Facts Verse videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. The French Connection, 7.7. The French Connection is based on the real-life story of Eddie Egan and Sonny Grosso, two New York City narcotics detectives who busted a global heroin racket in the 1960s. Gene Hackman played the role of Popeye Doyle in the film and won an Oscar for it. The French Connection was different in two ways. First, it didn't glamorize New York City as most mob films of the time did. Second, it gave audiences a hero who was certainly gray instead of being all white. A Bronx Tale, 7.8. A Bronx Tale is a story of love and heroic influences. 9-year-old Colugino finds his hero in the local mob mafia boss, Sonny. However, Colugino's father, Lorenzo, played by the ever-charming Robert De Niro, wants to keep his son away from all kinds of bad influences. Lorenzo, however, soon realizes he's fighting a battle he may never win. Though the film grossed only $17 million at the box office, it was highly praised by critics and also established Robert De Niro as a director to watch out for. True Romance, 7.9. Clarence Worley falls in love with Alabama Whitman. The two steal cocaine from Whitman's pimp and then look to find buyers in Hollywood in order to make big money. However, the mafia members come after the couple to reclaim their cocaine. Like most other Quentin Tarantino films, True Romance does not necessarily fit into a single genre, but certain scenes make it a perfect mob classic. The Untouchables, 7.9. The Untouchables features several talented actors like Kevin Costner, Robert De Niro, and Sean Connery, and it depicts the fear and control that Chicago mob boss Al Capone had over the city. One memorable scene in which Capone calls out a turncoat associate and beats him with a baseball bat is based on real-life events. Carlito's Way, 7.9. Carlito Brigante, an ex-convict, pledges to stay away from the world of drug dealing after he's released from prison. However, his past connections, as well as his friendship with Dave Kleinfeld, his lawyer friend who got him out of jail in the first place, suck him back into a world he had decided to quit forever. Though the Brian De Palma-Al Pacino pairing will always be best remembered for the classic Scarface, Carlito's Way is certainly an offering from the two that one can't afford to miss. The Irishman, 7.9. Frank the Irishman Sheeran learns killing while serving in the Second World War, and in the 50s is hired by Russell Bufalino, a mob boss, to work for his Pennsylvania crime family. In this film, Frank looks back at his life as a hitman, as well as the role he played in the mysterious disappearance of his friend and American labor union leader Jimmy Hoffa. This 3-hour and 30-minute long Scorsese film is filled with killings and shootings, but it leaves the effect that one expects from Martin Scorsese movies. Casino, 8.2. In Casino, Martin Scorsese reminds viewers that Las Vegas was built to serve the purposes of well-connected men, and that Sin City may look glamorous from the outside, but can be very cruel to people. The story follows the lives of two mobsters, Sam Ace Rothstein, who operates the Tangiers Casino, and Nicky Santoro, a made man who becomes deeply engulfed in the world of drugs and violence. White Heat, 8.1. This list would be incomplete without mentioning the 1949 Raoul Walsh classic White Heat. Cody Jarrett is a violent and crazy leader who runs his gang from jail. His ambitious henchman, attempting to take over Cody's empire, plans to have him killed in prison. However, an undercover cop saves Cody. The cop thereafter infiltrates Cody's gang. Reservoir Dogs, 8.3. Crime boss Joe Cabot hires 6 criminals for a diamond robbery. The criminals are given fake names in an attempt to stop them from building any concrete relations. However, everything goes wrong when, on the day of the robbery, police show up at the site of the robbery and 2 of the robbers are shot dead. Panic ensues, and everyone begins to suspect there's an undercover cop among them. Scarface, 8.3. Tony Montana leaves Cuba after undertaking a contract killing assignment. He arrives in Florida and starts working under Frank Lopez. Tony is protective of his sister and is in love with his boss's mistress, Elvira Hancock. After Tony proves his mettle with Colombian drug lords, he becomes a feared name. However, his mother doesn't approve of his work and therefore disowns him. Tony wants it all: Frank's empire, his mistress, and his own mother's love. However, his greed and impulsive actions become the reason for his downfall. The reason why Scarface is such an epic film is that even though it's a mob film, it's relatable in so many ways. Once Upon a Time in America, 8.4. Once Upon a Time in America narrates the story of a group of Jewish gangsters and their life in New York. The film was the last film directed by Sergio Leone, more famous for directing films like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and For a Few Dollars More. Once Upon a Time in America not only explored the rise of the mob mafias within American society, but also explores key human emotions like love, greed, and betrayal. The Departed, 8.5. The South Boston State Police has decided to launch a war on organized crime in the city and chosen Billy Costigan to unravel mafia secrets by becoming a member of mafia boss Frank Costello's army. On the other hand, Costello chooses Colin Sullivan to infiltrate the state police department. Eventually, both the police force and the syndicate realizes there's a mole in between, and the one who finds the mole first will win the ultimate war. Both Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon delivered stellar performances for the film. The Usual Suspects, 8.5. 5 criminals are wrongly caught by the New York police after a truck hijack. However, since none of them was involved in it, they decide to plot their vengeance against the police. Though the operation goes as planned, each of the 5 criminals realizes they have wronged the mastermind Kaiser Soze. Kevin Spacey delivered a memorable performance as Kaiser. Goodfellas, 8.7. A young Henry Hill quits school to become a member of the Lucchese boss Paulie Cicero's organization. While working in the organization, Henry meets Tommy DeVito. A detective busts Henry and Tommy while they're selling bootleg cigarettes and arrests Henry. Henry maintains his silence in prison and is therefore welcomed by the Lucchese family upon his release. Henry and Tommy's friendship grows as the two become deeply involved in the world of crime and climb the ranks of the mafia. However, Henry soon realizes that Tommy's climb could bring his downfall. Goodfellas is rightly considered by many as one of the greatest movies ever made. Pulp Fiction, 8.8. Two hitmen, Vincent Vega, played by John Travolta, and Jules Winfield, played by Samuel L. Jackson, are instructed by their mob boss, Marcellus Wallace, to hit the streets to find a stolen suitcase. Meanwhile, Wallace also asks Vincent to take care of his wife, Mia, played by Uma Thurman, while Wallace is on a trip. Wallace hires aging boxer Butch Coolidge, played by Bruce Willis, to lose a fight. The life of each of these characters become engulfed in a true Tarantino fashion. Though Tarantino has made several amazing films, he will best be remembered for Pulp Fiction. The Godfather Part 2, 9. Movie lovers often find themselves debating whether Godfather 2 is a better film than the first film in the Godfather trilogy. If Godfather won 3 Oscars for Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best Adapted Screenplay, Godfather 2 won 6 Oscars. Over and above the 3 wins that Godfather had secured, Godfather 2 also won the Oscar for Best Original Music, Best Production Design, and Best Director. So, which one is your favorite? The Godfather, 9.2. When Francis Ford Coppola decided to convert Mario Puzo's cult classic into a film, he was only 30. However, he was smart enough to know that the book had everything he needed to create an iconic film. The film's genius was in that it narrated the story of a closed world, which made it impossible to despise even the most detestable characters. The audiences sympathize with Don Vito Corleone, played by Marlon Brando, because through the length of the film, he does nothing the audiences can disagree with. Do you enjoy mob movies? Did you enjoy this video on the best 21 mob movies of all time? Have you seen them all? If yes, which one is your favorite? Is there any favorite of yours we've missed? Let us know in the comments section. Meanwhile, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest videos.